They tried to silence a single mom, but she turned the law against them. Before we dive into this powerful story of strength, injustice, and redemption, take a moment to subscribe to the Untold Struggles. These stories deserve to be heard, and your click helps bring them to light. Click the link below right now and join us on this journey. At the Untold Struggles, the morning sky hung heavy over Maplewood Estates, a neighborhood polished and pristine, too perfect for comfort. It was the kind of place where lawns were measured, smiles were rehearsed, and everything, even compassion, came with conditions. Yanel Carter, a 36-year-old single mom, stood in the doorway of her modest two-story home. Her son, Eli, clutched his backpack, ready for another school day. "Mom," he said, glancing at the street where a white SUV idled too long, "why are they always watching our house?" Yanel smiled tightly. "They're not watching us, baby. They're just making sure everyone follows the rules." But deep down, she knew the truth. The Homeowners Association, led by Marjorie Beck, had been sending letters for weeks, complaints about her paint color, her garden, even her welcome mat. Every word was a reminder, you don't belong here. As Eli ran to catch the school bus, Yanel's phone buzzed. Another HOA notice. Subject: violation, unauthorized vehicle on driveway. Fine: $150. Note: this community has standards. Her hands trembled. The unauthorized vehicle was her late husband's pickup, the last piece of him she had left. She closed her eyes, whispering, "They can take everything, but not this." 3 days later, a knock echoed through her home. She opened the door to find Marjorie Beck, HOA president, flanked by 2 board members holding clipboards. Their smiles were sharp, polite but poisonous. "Mrs. Carter," Marjorie began, adjusting her pearl necklace, "we've noticed several violations. We've sent letters, but you've failed to respond." "I responded," Yanel said, her voice calm but firm. "You just didn't like the answer." Marjorie chuckled. "Rules aren't personal. They're for the good of the community." "Then why," Yanel asked, stepping closer, "do they only seem to apply to me?" Silence. The board members exchanged glances. Marjorie's tone cooled. "You'll need to remove that truck by Friday. If not, we'll take further action." Yanel stared them down. "Then do what you have to." As they walked away, the rain began to fall, light, steady, unrelenting. The neighbors peeked through curtains, whispering. The gossip had begun. If you've ever been underestimated or pushed down, if you've ever had to fight for what's yours, this story is for you. Hit that subscribe button now and join the Untold Struggles family. Your voice matters. Your story matters. At the Untold Struggles, days later, Yanel received a certified letter. It wasn't a warning. It was a lawsuit. Case: Maplewood HOA versus Yanel Carter. Claim: non-compliance, damages to property value. Hearing date: in 2 weeks. She dropped the letter to the floor. Her knees buckled. She whispered, "They're really doing this." Her friend and neighbor, Mrs. Daniels, an older widow who had quietly supported her, arrived moments later with tea and trembling hands. "Child, they're trying to make an example out of you," she said. "You stand up to them, others might too. That's what they're afraid of." Yanel looked out at the street, where Marjorie's pristine SUV glistened in the sunlight. "They picked the wrong woman to scare," she said softly. That night, she pulled out her husband's old notebook, filled with scribbles about law, fairness, and dreams. He'd been studying to become a lawyer before he passed. She ran her hand over the faded ink. "Help me one last time," she whispered. The next 2 weeks were a blur of late nights and legal research. She visited the county clerk's office, the public records department, and even a local law library. And what she found made her heart stop. The HOA wasn't just enforcing rules, they were profiting from them. Every fine went into a private maintenance account that Marjorie and her inner circle controlled. Renovation contracts, awarded to Marjorie's brother's construction firm. Legal fees, paid to her husband's law office. It wasn't about the truck. It was about power. And money. Yanel printed every document, every receipt, every piece of evidence she could find. By the time she was done, she had a binder thicker than a Bible. She whispered, "Let's see how they handle the truth." The courthouse smelled like polished wood and old fear. Yanel sat at the defendant's table, alone. The HOA's lawyer, a smug man in a tailored suit, smirked across the aisle. Marjorie sat behind him, arms folded, confidence radiating like perfume. The judge entered. "We'll hear the case of Maplewood HOA versus Yanel Carter." The lawyer stood. "Your Honor, this homeowner has repeatedly violated community rules. Her property endangers the aesthetic and—" Yanel rose. "Your Honor, may I speak?" The courtroom fell silent. She stepped forward, binder in hand. Her voice trembled, not from fear, but from fury held too long. "These people have harassed me for months," she said. "They claim to protect this neighborhood, but they've been stealing from it." She laid the documents before the judge: contracts, bank statements, emails. The judge frowned, flipping through them. "Where did you get these?" "They're public records," Yanel said. "And every dollar they've taken came from people like me, working parents who just want peace." Marjorie's face went pale. Her lawyer stammered, "Objection, Your Honor. These can't." "Overruled," said the judge sharply. The courtroom murmured. Yanel took a deep breath and turned toward the gallery. Her neighbors, the same ones who had watched from their windows, now watched her with wide eyes. "For months, you made me feel small," she said, her voice breaking. "But I learned something. The truth doesn't need power. It just needs courage." 2 weeks later, the verdict came in. The HOA was found guilty of misconduct, embezzlement, and harassment. All fines against Yanel were voided. Marjorie Beck was ordered to resign immediately.